couple things right now. I'm trying to move forward in the tag tournament right here, so I'm going to have this probably running in the background. But we're going to explore Esme the Dancer. A lot of people smash or pass. Let's see what Hell's Hades has to say. Overall 4. Let's read it. If you enjoy the Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame, then you are a child, then you're in luck. Esme the Dancer is the new fusion for February 25 in Raid Shadow Legends. And her partner champion Moto of the Peel. All right, so how are we going to get Moto of the Peel? Is this going to be like the Queen of Hearts? Unknown. Is it be like Cheshire Cat? Who knows? It's going to be probably paywalled in some way. Card flip event. Okay. Large amount of... Okay, so Moto are keeping any secrets about the inspirations drawn from. Esme brings a large amount of buffs and debuffs in her kit, which will work particularly well against the Hydra and Chimera bosses and help complete multiple Chimera trials in particular. So a lot of people said that, which is part of the Chimera that is super challenging. Like, to me, I'm just trying to build one team to go all the way up. But the people that go all the way up to the top, then even if they can get to 65 turns and get through it and blah, 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 and one key it, they're still trying to get the trials, right? And trying to manipulate, trying to figure out different combinations to min-max the trials. I mean, it's just baffling how much depth the Chimera has. Is there a better way of saying that? There's just so much depth. Like right now, I'm just trying to build one team and to move up, you know, from the different difficulties. But people at the top difficulties suddenly have to think about to maximize how the number of trials, right? It's just like so much crazy amount of depth. Yeah, there's just so much depth. That is like extreme endgame stuff. Yeah. It's like extreme endgame stuff right here. Yeah, extreme endgame. Think of her as the weakened version of Ugo, which is a bunch of extras on top. So Ugo is what, an epic champion. So this is Kat's epic on her, right? This is Kat's Ugo and Rector Drath. Yeah. An amazing epic. All right. Well, let's come back to that. So much to come. Okay, so they mentioned Ugo. A bunch of extras on top. Her ability boosts your highest attack champion's turn meter by 50% every turn. Is very strong if you build around it, considering use a provoke sec for weights to direct more attacks towards her, or use her against enemies with frequent AoE attacks. One weakness is that her buffs don't have the best uptime, so considering using a buff extension champion, so that would be like Godseeker or Mad Hatter, allowing her for better coverage. New Faction Wars content has been teased by devs, and Esme is likely to be there thanks to having 2 ways to deal with buffs on the enemy team, either by blocking them with their A2 or moving them with their A3 or in decent turn meter control. So are they going to make it like what? Faction Wars ends at 21 or 25? They're going to extend it out even further? 20. So they're going to take it out to 25 is what they're going to do? Is that what they're saying? Well, what is it? 21. All right, I'll go look. $21. They're gonna add a hard mode. Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I just randomly had a Lego there I didn't see. Thank you. I just randomly had a legendary book there that I forgot about. I clicked it yet. Okay. Oh, here. You left this on the ground. Okay. See, tag arena. We need to finish these out. Let's see, refresh. Let's see how many of them over here is super easy. Okay. All right. New faction wars. Content been teased by the devs and Esme likely to excel thanks to having two ways to deal with buffs on the enemy team, either by blocking them with their A2 or moving them with their A3. And decent turn meter control. Pairing up with their partner champion, Motto of the Peel, might be a challenge in faction restricted content since he is from the Ogren tribes. And she is a barbarian. All right. Pairing up with a partner champion might be a challenge of faction restricted content since he is the Ogren tribes. Luckily or unluckily, depending on your perspective, SMA does not gain any massive benefits from this pairing. They're nice improvements to abilities, but none of them feel essential. Moto benefits more from her than she does from him. All right, well, they're kind of lackluster on her. They're not like super hyped about her, are they? Like, this is kind of, I mean, it's a fusion character, right? A fusion character. Some of the fusion characters are over the top, right? It's going to be a hard mode. It'd be interesting. Wonder if it'll drop materials, interact with relics, or maybe glyphs for relics. Yeah, they could do all kinds of stuff. All right, I'm going to put that quote here in on my video. That's going to go in the video. All right. Let's close out all these. Don't need this right now. Let's put that over here. Don't need this right now. Let's put that over here. Okay. All the fusions are worth generally filling for the hall bonus stats with the 10 speed at the end. What does that mean? For filling the hall? Don't you need duplicates though? Yeah, but don't you have to have duplicates for that? I guess I don't understand what you mean by that. Yeah, the idea is if you do the fusion, you'll pull her. She's a dupe. Yeah, I get it. I get it. All right. I get what you mean by that. I see what you mean, Jelly Bean. Oh, let's do just a regular arena. Oh, let's do all of these. All right. All right, so let's take a look at her kits specifically. When hit, 15% chance of randomly changing attack or critical hits to weak, normal, or strong hits. If mode of the peel is on the same team, chance increased 30%. This is the big deal right here. Whenever this champion is hit, increase the turn meter of the ally with the highest attack by 50%. That's bonkers, right? That is bonkers, right? How's it going? Yeah, this is by far the most interesting part. All right, Blessing of the Sand. Place a 50% increase accuracy buff and a 30% increased speed buff on the allies for 2 turns. Okay. A 75% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. Okay. Mode opposed on the same team, 75% is stealing all buffs from all enemies instead. So I already have like some Wukong that does something like this. And then that ramps up from there. Cooldown. Okay. Attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing a weaken debuff and a block buff debuff for 2 turns. Okay, so this is Hydra then. This is the reason why Sun Wukong's good in Hydra also. Also increases the turn meter of all enemies by 20%. Which, that doesn't happen against most bosses. Arnold Raid? Hey! What's up, my guys? How are you all doing today? Arnold T101 coming in with the raid. Actually, I can't see that on my end. I got to figure out how to see that. Let me click on the link. Thank you for telling me. I don't think I would have saw that otherwise. How does that happen? Arnold says hello? Or did he just send you over here manually? Oh, what's up, Arnold? Yeah, we're streaming Raid Shadow Legends. I'm trying to make a video. I'm getting about the next fusion, so we're doing a dive into that. The Lannister sends their regards. We do need to make some videos together whenever we have time. Come back to Galaxy Heroes. We need you. I appreciate the invite. And I will never say never. There's always a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen this month, though. For raiding his stream, yeah. Yeah, I guess I can see that there's people here. And we went from like 20 people to 186 people. Yeah. But Arnold and I are both playing Raid Shadow Legends, so we've been making videos together when it's hard to coordinate sometimes. Keep trying, okay. Let's do it to him. You want to do it tomorrow during the Super Bowl? We could do it right now. Well, I actually have house guests coming in about an hour or two. All right, let's leave that alone. Are you going to go to the Esme Fusion? I don't know yet. That's actually the entire purpose of what we're doing right now. I think that's the entire purpose of what we're talking about now. All right, next week. Okay, yeah, I'll be around. We have not house guests, but we have dinner here at the house tonight, and then tomorrow's the Super Bowl. But we can connect on Monday. But anyways, yeah, the whole point of the stream is I'm trying to personally make a decision whether or not I want to try to go after this fusion. It's literally why I'm doing this. I'm trying to make a decision myself. You spent the silver you had, yeah. Probably. I don't think I have the resources for it, frankly, so probably not gonna get anywhere on this. One more Marvel Snap video from you two, and my life is yours. Woof. What's up, Yotter? Welcome in. We're playing Raid Shadow Legends. If you haven't downloaded Raid Shadow Legends yet, click the link on the description. Oh, you can't do that. Scan the QR code. Anyways, this QR code's flashing. Raid Shadow Legends, man. Game's got depth. All right. Game is so much more complicated than Marvel Strike Force and Galaxy of Heroes, which appeals to me. I'm fully aware that that does not appeal to everyone, but it does to me. I actually very much enjoy the complexity and the depth of this game. Makes me, I've said this before, and I genuinely mean this. I wish I would have stuck with this game 5-6 years ago when I first played it, because oh my god, this is great. Yeah, stick to the missions at the start. It's more or less a tutorial, and it gives you direction on where to go in the game. It's the tutorials is where it's at. Okay. Place, increase accuracy, speed, allies. I already got a character that does that. The Razorvarg, whatever. Attack all enemies. Weaken debuff and block buffs. Okay, so that's gonna make it good in Hydra. Attacks one enemy, places a 50% attack buff and all allies for 1 turn. Let's make reference to the Sun Wukong thing in the video, because Sun Wukong, I don't know where I put the Sun Wukong thing. I need the Sun Wukong thing. There we go. Fusion's a bit of a catch-up mechanic with raid anyway. I advise you getting every fusion, because even if you don't have a place from now, player will have shown their way to create challenging kind of restrictions around champion choice, so it's bigger your roster, easier your content. Okay. I just flushed all of my silver right now, which could be a problem, right? I don't know. I really enjoyed the Mad Hatter fusion. It forced me to do things with my roster that I didn't know was possible. Boy, that sounded kind of kinky. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a go at it. I'm gonna start and try to do it, and then if it falls apart, then I'll just back off. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to pull it off. No, I don't have any anyways. Only have to be 20 dungeons for Arbiter. Oh yeah, Arbiter. Okay, Fuse. Razorvarg, Marius. Where are we at? Stage 5 Spirit, which is tomorrow, right? Yeah, Monday, which is going to be tomorrow afternoon. Okay. And then let's go to the fusions for Razorvarg. Fusions, Razor or Razhand. All right, where are we at? Oh, that's not good. Well, oh, we need to go hide that. Oh wait, we already got him. All right, we got him. Or we're good. Oh wait. Why don't I do this? Oh, okay. Locked. I could do that now, right? Oh, I'm missing one character. Channeler. Locked. Okay. Well, I probably should wait to CVC to do that, right? I've got this guy up and running. Should I do that on typically got to play in the fusions like they do 1 month, so if once the fusion is, wait 1 week and then you start news about upcoming March fusion. Normally the Northern Spring event, they did Reservoir and Estrad in the past 2 years and they seem pretty good. Yeah, I should save that for CVC. Yeah, I'll do that. CVC starts on Tuesday in theory, right? Is there anything public about when CVC is coming? I mean, I'm saving all this stuff for CVC. Okay. All right, let's keep going on the kit. And the Raid Digest thing. What is that on their site? Mm-hmm. Okay. So like I just want to this we were talking about this in Kat's video. The lower this number the better, right? 8 out of 10. Like when it's 10 out of 10, that means you need to fully book it. When it's 8 out of 10, what that means to me is if I can get to the cooldown on these and then somehow not do these ones right here, cool. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to do this 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? So like a lower number is better, right? It's in the PC Launcher Overview tab. Okay, let's pull that up right now. Yeah, so a lower number is better than a higher number. 100% is like, I was like, no, she's like, it's a 10 out of 10 book value. I go, that's not good. It means you have to put books on them to get full value. 8 out of 10 means you can get away with saving some books somehow. Yeah, you want this to say like 0 of 10. Which means you don't need to book the character at all. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Less books are better. Yep. See, there's a tab here. The Polarium Launcher. Where do I go on this? Notifications? Right side, you saw the disc part, it said Raid Digest. Other right side. Ah, right here. Reading readers, after the siege battles and event, we believe it's time to sit back and enjoy a Friday Raid Digest. Without further ado, let's start. Hydra quick battles, that's great. In the last release, we wanted to address some common questions. Our goal with Hydra was to encourage team optimization and synergy to reserve player interaction. Manual or semi-auto battles main the best strategy for top results. Quick battles are a time-saving tool for those willing to trade some efficiency for convenience. Yes, we recommend fine-tuning your teams first before testing them in quick battles. Another point we would like to highlight regarding quick battles is their duration. Unlike Demon Lord quick battles, the Hydra's ones take a little bit longer. Yeah, as it takes time to model those 1,000 turns. Aspect of Siroth Relic and its effect on turn meter manipulation. In update 1020, introduce immunity skills fix. Now when a champion skill says they're immune. Okay, we know about this. Champion rebounds process. I read all this. Well, what are you guys talking about? I read this. All right, CVC. All right. So we think this is going to be on Tuesday. Okay. Got it. So there's two kinds of CVC, the ones that have the personal rewards and the ones that don't. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. We got one last four. We might get paired up. Yeah. Or was it on purpose? All right. All right. What's they alternate. Typically, clans will have lower CVC requirements than the non-PR, higher clans the PR. Okay. Yeah. So like I would the ones that don't have the personal rewards, like there's no point to like win. You just get extra rings, right? It's like just get the milestones and take the then you can chill out a little bit, right? Like you can just chill out once you get it done. Yeah. I need to find one more thing. All right, let's bang out this video. All right. All right, what we're going to talk about is the next Fusion event that is starting on Monday, which is Esme the Dancer. So we're going to talk about whether or not this Fusion is worth pursuing. I just did my first Fusion, Mad Hatter, and I'm going to say it was a good experience. I had just gotten Arbiter from the missions, and I felt like then was a good time to start thinking about Fusions. Now, if you haven't done so already, there is a link in the description, or you can scan the QR code here on the screen to get Tayrel and Rector Drath, two amazing epic champions, Rector Drath, after you get to level 25. Just as important as doing that, in the first 24 hours of playing Raid Shadow Legends, use the promo code Monkey King so that you can get Sun Wukong. Now, that'll be found in-game on the left-hand side in the main menu, or if you're on iOS, you can go onto the Plarium website and put the code in there to make sure that you get it. In addition, probably one of the best times to play Raid Shadow Legends to start right now, there's a 7-day login event where you can get Alice the Wanderer. So that is 2 legendaries, 2 epics right now. Great time. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that is that Sun Wukong is very good, and there are some things in this SMA kit that remind me of Sun Wukong, because I've been using Sun Wukong inside of the Hydra. You know, having the ability to strip away buffs and put buff immunity, it's kind of a key thing inside of the Hydra, depending on the rotation, but I've been using Sun Wukong for that. And we're going to talk about whether or not this is worth it or not. And I got to say, when I was looking over it, there was largely mixed results and mixed thoughts coming from the community. And the idea of a fusion is that you save a lot of your resources, lots of silver, lots of campaign energy, and so on to get through the events. And a lot of people are saying that between the Mad Hatter event and then the follow-up event, they're stripped on resources and they're not going to be able to do it. But let's go over the kit. Firstly, we're here on Hell's Hades, which is one of my favorite websites for getting important information about the game. Actually, let's toggle over to the actual sheet because it's going to be a little bit easier to read here. First things first, aura, increase ally speed in all battles. That's pretty straightforward. I feel like that's a good one to use in Cursed City if she comes up. Noted that she is considered legendary support barbarian, and her passive right here, the second part, active effect. Whenever this champion is hit, increase the turn meter of the ally with the highest attack by 50%. And a lot of people have pointed out to me that this is super useful inside of tag arena, where you have to build 3 teams. Typically, like for me, I will have enough speed gear and speed characters to build 1, maybe 2 speed arena teams, because the arena is all about speed, but there's also something known as a turn 2 or go second team, and they typically have mechanics like this, you know, so they don't need to have, you know, a 400 speed arbiter or whatever people get nowadays, 370, some bonkers number. I mean, I'm lucky to have mine at 315 arbiter, right? But so that becomes kind of this like horrible situation where it's all speed, and not necessarily possible to do that on 3 teams. And one of the missions because once you're done with Arbiter, 2 other missions open up, and one of them does require getting up to a certain level, I believe silver something, to do it. And so people keep talking about building a go second turn, and this is the type of mechanic that works with that. Whenever this champion is hit, increase the turn meter of the ally with the highest attack by 50%. So for me, there would likely be Sun Wukong, and then Sun Wukong explodes people, and oftentimes I can one-shot the entire team. He's an amazing nuker. So that is probably the most interesting thing about the character. Let's go over the rest of it. Passive effect, when hit, has a 15% chance of randomly changing the attacker's critical hits to weak, normal, or strong hits if Moto the Peel. And so this is going to be a secondary character, and we're going to read the Hell's Hades article, which talks about the value of having Moto the Peel is on the same team, and the chance increases by 30%. So Moto the Peel is going to be the other character, and they have some synergy between the two. It doesn't look like it's going to be absolutely vital to have them. And secondly, there's no current information on how Moto of the Peel, did I say that wrong? Moto of the Peel will be made available. A lot of people have speculated different ways that he could be released, but we'll go through all of it. Blessing of the Sands. So this is the A3. I'm having a hard time calling it A1, A2, A3. I like to call it basic, special, and ultimate, but okay, A3 places a 50% increased accuracy buff and a 30% increased buff on all allies for 2 turns, and then has a 75% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. If Moto Appeals on the same team, has a 75% chance of stealing all buffs from the entities instead. So that's pretty useful in stripping away all of the buffs from the other team. What I like about Sun Wukong is not only does he do that, he also puts the buff block, which is found on the A2 or the special. Attacks all enemies, which is good in Hydra, right? 75% chance of placing 25% weaken debuff and a block buff debuff for 2 turns. Also decreases the turn meter of all enemies. Now that typically does not work on a lot of the bosses. If Moto of the Peels on the same team, steals 20% of each enemy's turn meter instead, which could be very powerful, right? And then lastly, place a 50% increase attack buff on all allies for 1 turn. So a lot of people are kind of lukewarm to this, depending on whether or not they did the Mad Hatter. I think I'm going to make a best attempt at it and see how it goes. I don't think I have the resources to finish it. One of the things that people say, it's good to get the fusion legendaries and to go for them, and especially helpful if you happen to pull the legendary later randomly out of a shard, then that can go towards your faction guardians. So a lot of people say at a minimum getting these fusions is good for that, because the faction guardians is a big deal. So let's get into what Hell's Hades has to say about it, giving it a 4-star rating. And they're saying that Hydra is going to be the place. And they also mention some Chimera benefits as well. If you enjoyed Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame when you were a child, then you are in luck. Esme the Dancer is the new fusion for February 2025 in Raid Shadow Legends. And she and her partner champion Moto of the Peel aren't keeping any secrets about where their inspiration is drawn from. And there he is right there. Like I said, I'm not going to go over his kit or think much about this because no idea how to get him. Probably going to be some event that is challenging, like Queen of Hearts and all the other Alice in Wonderland characters. Was kind of hard to get the characters outside of Alice and Mad Hatter. Esme brings a large amount of buffs and debuffs to her kit, which will work particularly well against the Hydra and the Chimera bosses and help complete multiple Chimera trials in particular. And I got to say this just blows my mind on how well they do PvE content here in Raid Shadow Legends. The Chimera. So I'm a newer player. I've been playing less than 6 months, like 5 months. And I'm just trying to get, on to turn 65 and, 4 supports and 1 attacker like Geomancer or something like that. And get as much damage up and survive all 65 rounds and then move up the difficulties. At the high end, they're trying to complete the trials and create multiple teams and try to figure out how to do the trials. I mean, this allows for so much theory crafting and the long-term playability of the Chimera. That's not like a one and done thing. In-game players are going to have a lot to do for a long time for these trials. If you don't know what these trials are, don't worry about it. It's an in-game player thing, but it's just like when I look at the way it was designed, it's like, wow, this was done correctly. PvE done correctly. That's Raid Shadow Legends. Think of her as the weakened version of Ugo, who's an epic. I do not have Ugo, but that's like a 4.5 star epic, which is also kind of nice. There's a lot of epics in the game that are better than some of the legendaries. With a bunch of extra on top, her ability to boost your highest attack champion turn meter by 50% every turn is very strong if you build around it. Considering using a provoke set, wow, that's high. That's next wave. That's another way of thinking about it. Provoke set is a piece of artifacts set for waves to direct more attacks towards her, or use her against enemies with frequent AoE attacks. One weakness is that her buffs don't have the best uptime, so considering running a buff extension champion along with side her for better coverage. I've got 2 buff extenders. In fact, Mad Hatter is one of them, and then there's a epic Void champion called Godseeker, which does buff extension. So I've got 2 of those in my roster. New faction war content has been teased by the devs, and I just want to talk about that. What is that? And right now, faction wars goes to 21, and I was like, well, are they going to take it to 25? Quasisis Kitty says, yeah, it's likely to be hard mode, and it could be interesting, but we wonder if it'll drop materials that interact with relics or maybe glyphs for relics. So faction wars right now is one of the primary ways of getting on a daily basis artifacts for artifact materials for the forge. Primarily the perception one is of good, and glyphs, and so we'll see what that looks like. But the thing is about that, they talk about the new faction wars, but interestingly enough, she's in a different faction than her counterpart. You know, she's a barbarian and he is an ogre. Yeah, Ogren. I don't know. Let's keep reading. New faction wars content has been teased by the devs, and Esme is likely to excel there thanks to having 2 ways to deal with buffs on the enemy team, either by blocking them with the special or A2 or moving them with A3 and decent turn meter control. Pairing her up with her partner champion Moto of the Peel might be a challenge in faction restricted content since he is from the Ogren tribe. So they're in different tribes. She's barbarian, he's Ogren. Luckily or unluckily, depending on your perspective, SMA does not gain any massive benefits from this pairing. They're all nice improvements to her abilities, but none of them feel essential. Moto benefits more from her than she does from him. And initially I was thinking, well, if she is a pair and I don't know how I'm going to get him, then skip, pass. But what they're saying, that's a good thing. And there they get their rankings and all of that. I wanted to talk about this right here. The 8 of 10 book value. 10 of 10 isn't necessarily always a good thing. It does mean that by putting the books on the character, they get significant advantages. But in some ways, I think this 8 of 10 is a better thing because the books go on randomly, right? And for me, what I'm trying to get to is the cooldown. So like here is the A3. You know, if I get, because it randomly is distributed between the A1, the A2, and A3. Don't really get to pick where. And, you know, some characters, you just have to do all of them, right? You just got to put every single book on them. But the way this is that, you know, yeah, you want to get to the level 4 for the cooldown. You want to get to the level 5 for the cooldown. But the basic really doesn't need all of this. And there might be a chance where you get to the end and you get the cooldown here and the cooldown here, but you could save a couple books here, maybe even 3 books. And so I perceive this as a good thing to have a lower number, because that means that if I, you know, start booking this character and then I don't get, you know, I get these 2 finished, but I miss some on this, then good, I stop, because those ones don't really matter. So that is of interest. Lastly, before we wrap up the video, clan versus clan tournament and personal rewards. Prepare your weapons and polish the armor, as the next installment of the clan tournament will come with personal rewards. May the strongest clan hold the victory. That's all we have for today. Take care, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. So Next week, sometime maybe on Tuesday, they're going to have the Clan versus Tan tournament, which a lot of people save a lot of their resources. Like for me, I save all my forge stuff and so on. And so that when that comes around, I'm ready to go and I get a lot of points that way. But there's two types. There's one that have personal rewards and ones that don't. And it looks like they alternate and they happen every 2 weeks. So once a month, they have the personal rewards one. And the one without the personal rewards, which was the last one, once your alliance gets the milestone points, there's not a lot of an advantage to winning from what I could see. It looks like there were some extra rings that were of high interest, but like, I don't know if it mattered or not. This one does because you want to max out the personal rewards, right? In addition to the clan rewards. It's not that the other one is not as important, but this one is more important is what I'm trying to say. All right. Just big shout out to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring the video. Link will be in the description if you want to download Raid Shadow Legends, get 2 free epics, or scan the QR code. And do not forget, if you're starting to play Raid Shadow Legends, the first 24 hours, use the promo code Sun Wukong, but the promo code Monkey King. It's kind of a big deal. For me, Sun Wukong is still one of the best characters that I have in my roster, and I use him almost everywhere. And then it's pretty easy to log in for 7 days. You don't even have to do it in a row. You just have to do it before the end of the event, which is a while out. All right. Bye for now. Oh, I like this video when we talk about up and coming events and maximizing. Thank you. I appreciate the hard work. Well, thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay. Two or one part. What is the PV thing when you speak of? PVE? What is this PVE thing if you speak? The Chimera? Oh my god, yeah. Does it work for mobile? Then you have a game downloaded, you need a brand new device. Yeah. Yep. You're pretty funny there, Steven. Yeah. And if you want to say, yeah. All right. Doesn't work for mobile. If you had the game downloaded before, you might need a brand new device. Yes. And I don't know how to tell people to do that, or if I should be telling people that or not. All right. I am going to call it amazing stream. I was going to do some DC Worlds Collide, but I want to go hang out with Kat because I have not seen her all day. She just got back. And I also need to wrap up some other stuff for the day. But thank you for being here. We'll be in tomorrow. Big deal for tomorrow will be T-Dubs. We're going to be playing in Cosmic Crucible in Marvel Strike Force against T-Dubs. Can't wait to do that. Should be pretty exciting. Okay, bye for now.